Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to projectCD.Chronicles. So, in today's video, we'll be talking about Commodore, Luigi Simonetti, his team, a company based in Italy, and I felt it was necessary to make this video, also as a reaction to a previous video I posted on the channel. By the way, those videos ended up going viral, especially the news about paraphractic Christian who had bought Commodore from Commodore BV. Now, clearly it's not our intention to get into the details. I wanted to talk about this team, about this company that really got me excited, and towards the end of the video we'll also talk, after a very brief historical overview, about the Starcade from Commodore. Stay with me until the end of the video because we'll try to cover several points in detail, but also very quickly that will lead us right up to Starcade. Let's go to the About Us page. You can see Luigi Simonetti and his team. I'll read you some of the sentences that are actually on their page. Welcome to Commodore. The great Commodore is reborn with a group of Italian entrepreneurs aiming to bring the historic brand back into the spotlight. Luigi Simonetti, the company's CEO, and his team aim to revive this historic, and I mean great brand, starting with IT, using a business unit called Commodore Engineering, and with a business unit dedicated to video game development known as Commodore Synapse. Coming back to us, this brief introduction, exactly this Commodore, let's say, can be defined as the heir to the iconic brand founded in the United States in 1954 by Jack Tramiel, and it takes on the role of carrying forward, as you can also see from their website, this technology. In particular, I remember that Commodore, in its time, was among the most advanced companies in the industry. I remember the SID, the VIC, it produced a series of incredible products like the Amiga. Then, beyond its downfall or other matters, of course, those could be topics for separate videos. I'll add a bit more information. Commodore, led by this team, is now presenting us with products under the Commodore brand, both hardware, like notebooks and tablets, as well as software and innovative products, all carrying the Commodore name. In particular, they're very focused on the development and creation of video games, and among their various projects, we'll also take a look at Starcade. Their goal is to reinterpret some of these classic games in a modern way using the tools available today. I'd also like to mention this part, which is taken directly from their website. The company's mission is to prevent such a historic and iconic brand from being lost. I would add that times have changed today. Entertainment platforms are completely different now, so we're ready to create products that are in line with the times. You can also find more information on his LinkedIn profile, Luigi Simonetti, President and Chief Executive Officer at Commodore's Industry. And then we have the various contact details still here on LinkedIn, which I've already shown you below. By the way, also on the LinkedIn page, there's the New Zealand story, in his own words, a dream that becomes reality. Let's zoom in on them for a moment because this news is quite important. I am excited to share with you the progress in the development of New Zealand Story, a new adventure inspired by the iconic Taito title that made entire generations of gamers dream, myself included. By the way, just for your information, let me scroll for a moment. The New Zealand Story was, and still is, an incredibly adorable and charming platformer that dates all the way back to its original release in 1989, which, among many other notable things, successfully won over so many dedicated fans thanks to its vibrant and colorful graphics and its truly charismatic and memorable character. I distinctly remember that it was developed and subsequently published by the renowned Japanese company Taito. It had quite a following when it came to the old arcades. And Taito itself, by the way, is also the same software house that created other hugely iconic games like Bubble Bobble and Space Invaders. And in fact, it reclaimed the arcade scene during what were our years 88, 89, 90, basically the 80s. So I think this is an important collaboration, also considering the company Taito. I'd also like to add that the development of the game is nearing completion and will soon announce the official launch date. With each passing day, we get closer to what, for us, is not just a project, but a truly exciting journey. One of those that, as the words here say, really strikes a chord of nostalgia. However, going back to Commodore Industry, as we can see here, it's not just this game. They're also involved in developing other types of games. By the way, there's also an aspect I haven't covered yet regarding hardware development, and specifically when it comes to notebooks and tablets. By the way, I invite you, and I'll leave you the link to check out this article, especially from Italians in the world rather than in the other world, about this Italian startup, and it's honestly something very moving. The last thing I saw was the Commodore. And let's say here you can also find a bit of the story of Commodore Industry and Simonetti. Very briefly, let's say that Startup Italia covers this article where it says that he received, here I'm talking about Simonetti, his first Commodore at the age of 7, and that's where his passion was born. His mother gave the Commodore to Luigi, and this passion still lasts to this day. Then there was a difficult period in his life, as I mentioned earlier, when he had an accident, a serious accident, that left him blind for almost 2 years, for over 2 years. Later, he partially regained his sight, and the first thing he saw was the Commodore his mother had given him as a gift. And it was right from here, from these words, that my mom told me, "At this point, if you don't become the president, I'll kill you." Obviously, from here a dream was ignited. A new future for this startup lit up, and this promise became reality, as I was saying, in what is now Commodore Industry. Then after that, we have this part that deals specifically with the rebirth of the Italian Commodore. This short article, by the way, also covers what was Tramuel's bankruptcy in 1994 and, in particular, the specific intention to recover the brand. And it was precisely in 2015 that Commodore Industry SRL was founded, with offices in Rome and London. Today, it is a well-established company boasting more than 100 people as part of its team of excellent collaborators. I just wanted to give you one last brief description of this article. The company that today bears the Commodore name is committed to trying to restore the brand to its former glory. And here we can see this through numerous solutions in the world of IT infrastructure, both hardware and software, as well as business services, in addition, of course, to the gaming sector we've already discussed. All right, now before introducing the last part one mentioned, where the gaming platform is born, let's take a quick detour, as I had already told you, to look at a whole line of hardware through what are the various latest generation computers. So the Orion or Rayon series, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, all branded Commodore, featuring cutting-edge technologies. Here we can see a few more in action from the Orion, Vega, Slim series, and so on. Reviving the legacy, Commodore is back. In the spirit of innovation and nostalgia, we embark on a thrilling mission to breathe new life into a classic, the iconic Commodore brand. Our mission is clear: to bring back... All right, now let's move on to the last part of our video, as I mentioned earlier, Starcade. What is it? The Starcade gaming platform is born from Commodore Industry. In particular, the new gaming platform by Commodore Industries is on its way. By the end of the year, we will launch Starcade, and this is news as of July 1st, 2025. The gaming ecosystem we are passionately building is for everyone who loves to have fun, compete, and share experiences. And through Starcade, as this announcement states, it will be possible to play multiplayer games. I'd like to remind you that Commodore is involved in the development of numerous games. Here you can see several of them. Again, as far as Steam is concerned, you see Millennium Radiance, Tinto & Adventures, Cyberpunk 2 Next Generation, and so on. You'll be able to save your progress, connect with other gamers, and also, most likely, access everything through a client launcher similar to those in apping games, so you can keep all your various game progress up to date. I'm reading now that there will be 2 ways to access the games. One is a free subscription, so you can purchase titles and content completely freely. And then there's a second subscription, where of course there's a fee, but there won't be any additional costs related to the purchase of titles you already own, giving you access to a rich and entertaining catalog. I don't have any more information about this mode. I'm also reading that we're working on a tournament mode that will let us take the game off the screen by organizing live events where we can meet, compete, and have fun together. And this is something that's obviously missing in the Italian scene because there are very few opportunities like this, if not almost all of them being abroad. With Starcade, we want to create a lively, dynamic community full of emotions and real, authentic gameplay. The countdown has officially begun. See you on Starcade by the end of the year. Stay tuned. Well, what else can I say? I'll stop here. I just made a short introduction video about Commodore Industry and Luigi Simonetti, specifically as the necessary follow-up to the video I had made previously. Let's say I hope that this video has brought you some interesting topics. And what can I say? I'll see you on Project CD Chronicles soon, and maybe we'll come back to other aspects regarding Commodore too. Thank you all for sticking with me this far. See you in a new video. Claudio.